the Krakoan age of the X-Men has come to an end. Everybody was like, yeah, this needed to end long time ago because it was never supposed to go as long as it did. It was supposed to go for a certain amount of time, but it was supposed to be a story that Jonathan Hickman was doing. But then he left due to some kind of problems there, and then they just kept dragging this thing on because a lot of people were thinking, that maybe the X-Men that we were seeing might have been some kind of plant clones or something, and maybe the real X-Men were underneath Krakoa Island in some kind of stasis tubes or something, But that didn't happen. These are the X-Men that we're getting, and the Krakoan age is coming to an end. And they're going to be, rebooting the X-Men, and it's supposed to be taking it in a bold new direction. I'm going to tell you why that's going to fail miserably. But before that, let me go through the information that we have available, and then I will give my thoughts on it. Now, that even come from Cosmic Book News. Marvel Comics reveals the future of X-Men. In the wake of the acclaimed Krakoan age, witness the X-Men's latest evolution this summer. Oh joy. Right in line with the debut of X-Men 97 animated series on Disney+, Marvel Comics follows suit and reveals the future of the X-Men. Marvel Comics announces 3 new titles with new creative teams, which will be doing. We'll get to them in a short while. Let's see we have here. So this is the lineup here. This is the lineup of who is going to be in it. There's going to be 3 different things. They're calling it From the Ashes, A New Beginning, January 2024. There are going to be 3 main titles, and so far, Uncanny X-Men, X-Men, and Exceptional X-Men, right? This is the lineup we're going to be having here. This is what they're going to look. This is the redesign for Cyclops. And to be quite honest with you, I am not a fan of it. I don't mind Cyclops here showing. I don't have a problem with that. He's been using the whole covering on his head for a little while. I don't mind his hair showing, no problem with that. But he looks juvenile. That's the best way to put it. He looks juvenile. This looks like Cyclops in his teenage years. That's what it looks like. It looks like Cyclops in his teenage years. He looks like a literal teenager here. And that shouldn't be. You should design his costume to look better. This does not look like adult Cyclops at all. It doesn't. So we're going to get that. Let's see what this is what they have here for the information for it. In the wake of the acclaimed Krakoan age, witness the X-Men's latest evolution this summer, X-Men From the Ashes. And also at Marvel.com, each series will offer different explorations of the mutant mythos as they take Marvel's merry mutants in bold and untrodden territory. So first up, we have X-Men written by Jed MacKay, art by Ryan Stegman. And let me just say it, Jed MacKay is not really a superstar writer. He could write some good stuff, but it's not really like you expect this to be some fantastic thing. The problem also goes on with the actual members as it is. Let's get into it. Krakoa is no more. When the X-Men fight on, from their new base in Alaska, the X-Men raise a flag of defiance. Join Cyclops, Beast, Magneto, Psylocke, Kid Omega, Temper, formerly Oya, Magic, and Juggernaut as they assemble against new forces, battling for the destiny and philosophy of the mutant species. Mutant business is their business. It's not just It's no. This is what they have regards to it. The team here is some of the most random people you could find. Cyclops, Beast, Psylocke, okay, Magic as well. Magic is actually pretty cool. Are the members of the FAMA most likely new? But the fact that they just throw in, okay, ever since Krakoa, they don't have any bad guy mutants anymore. All mutants are living together, singing kumbaya and holding hands and engaging in island-wide orgies if need be. So you have Magneto, who has been a threat for years. He's now part of the team. You have Kid Omega, whoever the hell that is. You have Temper, and you have Juggernaut. And Juggernaut is not even a mutant. Juggernaut's powers are like magic-based. But that's what this is the most random set of people you could put together. And honestly, the Cyclops, for all intents and purposes, Cyclops cannot carry a book on his own. There are some X-Men who only could work well when they are part of a team. That's when they're part of a team, that's what they could do. Cyclops, Beast, Magic, Juggernaut, Psylocke, they cannot carry books on their own. They can only be when they're in a team setting, that's when it works. Other than that, you ain't getting that going for. So let's get to Uncanny X-Men. Written by Gail Simone, art by David Marquez. I think about Gail Simone. Gail Simone was relevant like about maybe 10 years, 10, 15 years ago. She had some good titles that she had done, but overall her work ever since has not been anything to write home about. You're not going to be, running to the comic shops to get a Gail Simone book. That's just a fact. You're not going to be doing that. But they have Gail Simone, of all people, writing Uncanny X-Men. Let's take a look at the synopsis for this. Outlaw heroes once again. Oh, here we go. The X-Men embark on a new mission, making themselves at home in the Big Easy. The X-Men protect a world that hates and fears them. Join Rogue, Gambit, Nightcrawler, Jubilee, and Wolverine on explosive superhero adventures. Uncanny as ever, the X-Men are back to saving the day mutant style. Now, this combination is by far the best one that they have. Apparently, the team is going to be led by Rogue. I don't have a problem with that because Rogue has led the X-Men before. Okay. So it's Rogue, her husband Gambit, you have Nightcrawler, Jubilee, and Wolverine. You have literally the lineup here that should have worked because all you have to include in this is Cyclops, Beast, Jean Grey, maybe one or two others, just a round of, and you would have had an X-Men team right there. That is it. But you have 3 different books, and you have Uncanny X-Men, and you have the most interesting team being written by Gail Simone. Rogue is an interesting X-Men. Gambit is an interesting X-Men. Well, I haven't done much with Gambit in years. Nightcrawler, well, he's murdering people now, so that's something. Jubilee, always a fan favorite. And Wolverine. Of all the X-Men members, Wolverine is the main person that can carry a title on his own. That's it. Wolverine is the main person that can carry a title on his own. The rest of them, not so much. Nightcrawler might do a limited series. People might check it out. Okay. Gambit, there was a point in time, I think in the 90s, when Gambit had some comics and they were actually really interesting. But they don't do Gambit like they're supposed to anymore. So he can't carry a title on his own. The only one that could carry a title on their own is Wolverine. That's a fact. That's the only X-Men that can carry a title on their own is Wolverine. The rest of them, you may be thinking, no, they have powers and stuff, but they cannot carry a title on their own. When they start up with it, fans might check it out once, twice, and then just lose interest because it's not interesting. They work better as teams, not as individual books. That's it. That is a fact. Then we go on to Exceptional X-Men, written by Eve Ewing. Well, already that should tell you right there. Art by Carmen Carnero. Mutant Kind's two greatest teachers mold the next generation of X-Men. Who are these greatest teachers? Kate Pryde and Emma Frost. Now, I don't know who told these people that, and stop calling her Kate, please, it's Kitty. Kitty Pryde. I don't know who told these people Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost are the greatest teachers the next generation of X-Men could ever have. But, something wrong there, because Kitty Pryde could probably teach one or two little things, but she's hardly any kind of real massive teaching person at all. And Emma Frost, yes, she has some knowledge in teaching, but she had a school once that went under. So I don't know what the hell they're trying to put here, but whatever. Let me get back to it. Yeah. Kate Pryde has returned home to Chicago following the war with Orchis. Having stepped away from the world of mutantdom, she is nevertheless called back into action as she crosses paths with a trio of new young mutants. Bronze, Axo, and Melee, who clearly need training and guidance. Unfortunately for Kate, Emma Frost thinks so as well. So, you have Kitty Pryde, who you just turned into a murderer because she was snapping neck, pushing man into the ground, putting bombs in their chests and exploding it, phasing guns halfway through people's skulls, all kind of madness she was doing. Now suddenly she is supposed to be one of the two greatest teachers that the X-Men have ever had. And of course, when it comes to Kitty Pryde, they had to make her some kind of bisexual lesbian, some kind of nonsense or another. Yeah. This is what they had to say. The X-Men are fractured in the aftermath of the end of Krakoan, scattered across the globe without a central base of operation. This is what Tom Brevoort said. This is the same guy who called fans cretins for not accepting all the woke nonsense that they put in. And then when the trailer for this X-Men reboot Out of the Ashes thing wasn't getting any kind of massive amount of views, he was wondering why. Moron. What that means in practice is that all three titles carrying the name X-Men are core X-Men series. They all center around one of the major aspects of what the team has been about at different points. This is very much by design. We want to field a wide assortment of X titles with different styles and tones and approaches, an X-Men book for virtually any taste. Now here's the thing. That's not, those three aren't the only books that they want. They also have some more. No. They have X-Men, Exceptional X-Men, and Uncanny X-Men. They also want to have Phoenix, Nyx, X-Factor, X-Force, Storm, and Wolverine. Let me just see. When it comes to Phoenix, I'm getting a little sick and tired of Jean Grey still being the Phoenix. Honestly. She's been there, she's done that, she's no longer the Phoenix. Move on with it, for God's sakes. Move on with it. And the people with the Phoenix cannot carry a book. Whoever Nyx is, I really don't know, cannot carry a book. X-Factor, doubtful. X-Force might work if done really well and they put together a book. X-Force might work if it's done really well. Storm, they want to push Storm with this thing because apparently apparently the X-Men and them, took over Mars and they colonize it now and it changes now, and Storm is like the leader there and some kind of things. They want to push that as much as possible. It ain't gonna work. Honestly, it ain't gonna work. Wolverine, the only X-Man, like I say, could carry a book. If they wanted these titles, what they should have done, you see this X-Men, Exceptional X-Men, Uncanny X-Men? No, you don't need all three. You need one X-Men book with the original team of X-Men, maybe one or two other members added to it, back and fighting to do what they have been doing all along. That's what you need. As for any other spin-off books, you need a Wolverine because that always sells. Maybe an X-Force book. Who else could carry a title? Cable could carry a title when done really well, but I don't even know what the hell they've done with Cable anymore. So that's it. You could do that. Now let me see if I could explain as to why this thing is going to crash and burn hard. Because here's the truth of the situation. Yeah? Here's the truth of the situation. The X-Men have become everything that made people afraid of them. That's it. They become everything that made people afraid of them. The whole Krakoan era opened up a can of worms that they cannot close. If they had done a complete reboot, erased the Krakoan era and was starting over fresh, that could have did. Or they could have had it done like, some mutant had done something to cause the X-Men to go into hiding. They've done that before. But they are doing that. The Krakoan era basically turned the mutants into a bunch of isolationist freaks. They took their island, said only mutants were allowed there, closed it off to the world. They also went and terraformed the moon and Mars and all of this nonsense. They would actively go to other countries and intervene to get mutants or all kind of thing, whatever people want, making people more afraid of them. They basically started becoming drug dealers, selling this life extending thing to people who wanted to buy it. Not to mention Orgy Island was open for all the world, for everybody to do. Then they would have this ridiculous Hellfire Gala every year where all these mutants were just dressed in drag. They were bringing people back from the dead left, right, and center. They completely erased and destroyed everything that the X-Men stood for and made them interesting and replaced it with this. The Krakoan era has done immeasurable damage to the X-Men. And you haven't erased it, you haven't gotten rid of it, you just moved on from it. But it doesn't matter because the world that they have now, based on what they did with Krakoa, is going to haunt them going forward. And the fans already did not like the Krakoan era. And you're just moving along with that same story, making people even more pissed off as to what you're going to do. Nothing that they do now is going to fix what they've done. People are just seeing that you're just going to be moving forward the same thing that you're already doing. You look at these teams. You have with Cyclops here who looks like a teenager. You have Juggernaut. You have Magneto and stuff. Then you have the Uncanny X-Men. The only thing that kind of looks interesting, which should have been the main thing to begin with. And then you have Exceptional X-Men that nobody's going to read. Nobody's going to read this shit because nobody cares about any of who these people actually are. That's it. This is what you're doing. So this is, in my opinion, a disaster in the making. These books are going to fail. And it's not just, like I said, even with the other titles. Tom prefer talking about how you want to add more and bring out more and add more. You want to flood the market with things nobody's interested in. And then they're going to wonder why it is going to keep failing. Nobody wants this. You've destroyed the X-Men. You've taken everything that they were good at. The Krakoan era made the X-Men everything humanity was afraid they were going to become. They became. There's no going forward with that. You understand me? If you want to tell stories let's very well continue the Krakoan era, but in a different way. That's it. Flicked it up, people. There's no fixing that. No, that's what you've done. This is the nonsense that people have to deal with. And I'm telling you, this X-Men relaunch thing that they're going to do, this is DOA. That's it. It's DOA. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.